Welcome back to Hasty Forge. For this video, we're going to be creating a rasp file knife. This will be part 1 in a series of videos. Thank you for checking it out. This will be the basis of our material. This old file I picked up at a local yard sale for about 25 cents. In fact, I think I bought it in a bundle with several others for $2 total. Files are cheap and easy to come by. They make great resources for building knives for beginning blacksmiths because they are already hardened. We will be tempering this blade, however, once done, to make it so that it is not brittle. For the first step, we will be dressing the file. This will be removing all of the large grooves and preparing the knife for marking so that we can outline our blade. I will start by using a stone grinding wheel on a 4-inch grinder, and then I will move to a flap disc. 60 to 80 grit is usually sufficient for taking down large burrs. No need to polish, just get it smoothed down enough you can draw your outline. Safety is always a top priority, especially for someone with a family. Notice that I am using a respirator, face shield, and although you can't see them, I have earplugs tucked down into my ears. These things are essential to maintain not only a healthy environment while working, but a safe environment. Metal dust and other things can be not only detrimental to your eyes, but especially your lungs. After grinding, we are now ready to place the file on the table and draw out our knife shape. You can use a template that's already pre-printed, or you can freehand it. For this particular build, I chose to freehand our design. So here's our basic freehand drawn knife design. This should work very well for the size of the file that we have chosen. Note that there are marks for hole placement through the tang, or the handle area. These will have to be heated since the material is already hardened in order to drill later. The material for the handle will be determined at a later time and in the other videos. For the following slides, you will see various stages of cutting, grinding, and shaping and smoothing with the 4-inch angle grinder. I won't bother you with details. Just continue watching and see the progress take shape. And now you can see the basic roughed out shape of the knife. Depending on the material chosen, it will greatly influence the shape of the handle that I choose. I do like the look of the back of the tang, so I may leave that sticking out. Time will tell. If you have any ideas as far as color or types of wood that you'd like to see used, leave it in the comments. I'll look into it. Locking the knife back into the bench vise, pay close attention to the outer curve of the knife. I do not like the drastic plunge that it takes. This will be addressed in the following stages of smoothing and shaping before bevel grinding takes place. With the edges smoothed up a bit more, it is now time to lay a thick black line down the center of the blade. While it is still flat and smooth, I can paint this in with a large marker. I will then divide the distance in half with a set of calipers, find the exact center, and then that will give me a line that I can grind to. I will explain this in detail a little bit further in the following slides. Measuring the outside diameter of the blade with a set of digital calipers, I then divide that number in half and create a scar line down the center of the blade. This will serve as a guide for when I go to put in my bevel grinds. This particular blade is extremely wide, so divided in half it equaled out to 0.163. I used the calipers themselves to create the scar line, dragging straight down the center. This will give me a good usable line that I know is true with the center of the knife to grind to. With the center line marked, the blade is then locked into my bevel grind jig. This is a custom design. There's many others that are very similar, but this one I created myself. If I was to buy one, they're usually around a couple $100, and being a family man, I just can't afford that. This one was made out of scraps. It adjusts and has a return spring so that it doesn't fall forward. And here you see the back side of the bevel grind jig. It's just pieces of flat material welded together with 2 handles, a nut and bolt that allows for adjustment of the angle, and a piano hinge on the bottom. One of the advancements that I did add to this, it has a return spring so that your material doesn't fall forward accidentally into the belt. So far it's worked really well. Here you can see the belt sander and bevel grinder in action. The materials move back and forth slowly, making friction contact with the belt. This particular belt is 180 grit. You can move up or move down depending on how aggressive you want to be or if you're polishing. And here we put the knife back into the vise. You can see the starts of the bevel grinds. The blade is really starting to take shape. In the following slides, I will be doing a bit more grinding and shaping on the back side of the handle. And I'll also be taking some of the grooves down on the front. This will help aid in shaping the blade and maintaining balance later on. Don't mind this image here. My son that was videoing and taking pictures thought that the image looked cool, so for posterity I threw it in. Thank you for taking the time and watching part 1 of our video series on making a Ferrier Rasp knife. We greatly appreciate any feedback, positive or negative, and hope that you'll join us for part 2. Please stay tuned.